There are secrets that feel like lace, intricate, delicate, and designed to cover the truth. I spent 24 years believing that if I just wore the lace well enough, the girl underneath wouldn't exist. Today, I am wearing 6 pounds of it. The air in the cathedral is heavy with the scent of lilies and expensive perfume. It's a clean smell, a holy smell. It's supposed to wash away the past, but as I stand here at the end of the aisle, all I can smell is the damp earth and pine needles of a clearing 10 years away. I look at the front row. He's there, Marcus, my father's best friend, the man who taught me how to read animal tracks and how to stay silent when it hurts. He's wearing a boutonniere my mother pinned to his lapel with a smile. He looks proud. He looks like part of the family. He looks like he's enjoying the view. They say your wedding day is the beginning of the rest of your life. But as I look into his eyes, I realize this ceremony isn't for me. It's for him. It's the final lock on the cage. It's the ultimate peace I've been keeping. The priest begins to speak, his voice echoing off the vaulted ceiling like rolling thunder. But my ears are ringing. The stone on my tongue, the one I've been turning over and over since I was 14, has finally developed an edge. It's no longer a weight. It's a blade. People ask why it takes so long to speak. They don't understand the architecture of the net. They don't see the thousands of tiny threads, the polite dinners, the thank you cards, the Christmas mornings where you have to hug the monster because if you don't, you're the one who's being difficult. I called it being a good daughter. I called it keeping the peace. But peace that requires your slow death isn't peace at all. It's a hostage situation. I remember the first time I realized the net was permanent. It was 3 months after the woods. We were at a barbecue. Marcus was flipping burgers, laughing with my dad about a fishing trip. I was sitting on the porch, my body feeling like a house that had been broken into and never cleaned up. Marcus walked over and handed me a soda. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me and smiled, that satisfied, proprietary smile. It said, I own this silence, I own you. And I took the soda, I said thank you. That was the first thread. Every thank you since then, every birthday wish, every shared meal was another loop of the net tightening around my throat. I traded my truth for their comfort. I traded my dreams for their approval. I thought if I stayed quiet long enough, the version of me that died in the woods would stay buried. But the problem with burying things alive is that they eventually learn how to dig. High school was a masterpiece of performance. I was the girl with the hazel eyes and the braces who always had her homework done. I was the girl who laughed at the right times and never caused a scene. Underneath, I was a ghost. I stopped looking in mirrors because I didn't recognize the person staring back. She looked too healthy, too whole. She looked like someone who hadn't been dismantled in the dirt. I started dressing in layers, even in the summer. I wanted to be a fortress. I wanted to be invisible. When I met David, my fiancé, I thought he was my escape. He was kind, gentle, and utterly unaware of the caverns inside me. I loved him because he didn't see the ghost. But the closer we got to this day, this happily ever after, the heavier the dress became. Every fitting, every lace adjustment felt like I was being sewn into a shroud. My mother would cry and tell me how beautiful I looked, and I would smile and say cheese for the photos, all while feeling the water working its way through the limestone of my soul, creating holes where solid ground used to be. The net wasn't just Marcus anymore. It was all of them. It was the expectations of a perfect wedding. It was the history of my father's friendship. It was the lie I had polished so brightly that I had blinded myself with it. If anyone here knows of any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, the priest's voice is the only thing left in the world. The silence that follows is supposed to be a formality, a few seconds of respectful quiet before the I do. But for me, those seconds are an eternity. I look at Marcus. He isn't worried. Why would he be? He's watched me perform for a decade. He's seen me swallow the truth at every Thanksgiving, every graduation, every milestone. He thinks I'm the girl who forgot how to scream. He leans back slightly, a look of smug contentment on his face. He thinks he's won. He thinks the wedding dress is the final seal on the secret. And then I feel it. The stone. It's sitting on the back of my throat, hot and sharp. For 9 years, I thought the weight was there to keep me anchored. But it wasn't an anchor, it was a seed. I look at David. His eyes are full of a future I can't have, not like this. Not built on a foundation of rot. To say I do to him would be to say yes to the monster in the front row. It would be an admission that my life is worth less than the peace of this room. I am 24 years old. I am standing in 6 pounds of lace, and I am done dying. I don't look at the priest. I don't look at David. I look directly at the front row. I have a reason, I say. My voice sounds small at first, swallowed by the stone-cold acoustics of the cathedral. But then I say it again, louder. I have a reason. The gasp that ripples through the pews is physical. It's the sound of the net snapping. I see my mother's hand go to her mouth. I see my father straighten up, his face a mask of confusion. And I see Marcus. The smile doesn't vanish, not yet. It flickers. It transforms into a sneer of warning. He thinks he still has the power. He thinks his threats from 10 years ago still hold weight. Marcus, I say, and the name feels like a liberation. July 17th, 2016. The woods behind your property, the green tank top. The church goes deathly silent. It's a different kind of silence than before. This isn't the silence of peace. This is the silence of the truth finally taking up space. I watch the color drain from his face. I watch the proprietary look vanish, replaced by the panicked eyes of a cornered animal. For the first time in a decade, I am the one who owns the silence, and I am choosing to end it. I spent 9 years protecting your reputation, I continue, my voice gaining a strength I didn't know I possessed. I spent 9 years trading my truth for your comfort, but today I am taking my voice back. I am not a secret to be kept. I am a woman who survived you. I take off the veil. It feels like 1,000 pounds are lifting from my shoulders. I look at David, whose face is a map of heartbreak and horror, and I whisper, I'm sorry, but I can't start a life with you until I finish the one I've been hiding. I didn't stay for the aftermath. I didn't stay to hear his denials or my father's rage. I didn't stay for the tears. I walked out of that cathedral alone. The air outside was crisp and real. It didn't smell like lilies. It smelled like the world. For the first time since I was 14, the girl in the mirror and the girl standing on the pavement were the same person. The weight of the wedding dress was gone. Not because I took it off, but because it no longer had anything to hide. My name is Elena. I am 24 years old. And today was the day I stopped being polite to the ghost of my past. I broke the net. I let the stone fall. And for the first time in my life, I am finally, truly, raised to survive. If you are currently standing at your own altar, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a family dinner, and you feel the weight of a secret killing you slowly, know this. Your voice is a revolution. You do not owe your silence to anyone who has harmed you. You are part of a community of survivors who are done keeping the peace at the cost of their souls. If this story moved you, if it gave you even a second of the courage you need to speak your truth, subscribe to Raised to Survive. We are reclaiming our narratives one word at a time. You are not alone, you are seen, and you are no longer silent. I'll see you in the next chapter.